When a zombie outbreak occurs, there are two types of people that can take form. The ones who go crazy, and the ones who are willing to survive. Now the ones we're going to be looking at are the ones who go absolute batshit insane. And this is going to be my personal top 10 list for the very best psychopaths in the Dead Rising series. And bear in mind, this is going to be very specific to Dead Rising 1 and 2. As Dead Rising 3 was less of a more thing, and plus the bosses are more focused on the 7 deadly sins, so it's kind of obvious what their motives are. Whereas with Dead Rising 1 and 2, the psychopaths have their own individual personalities and they're not really solely based on anything like sins and whatnot. So that's the reason why you'll see less of Dead Rising 3 in this video. Also, Dead Rising 4 never happened, shut up.
You shall perish like the others!
And our number 10 spot is going to be Z, and the reason why he's at the number 10 spot is simply because, number one, he's a very good example of a psychopath who is basically batshit insane. And the reason why Z is a good psychopath but not as good as the others on this list is because he's kind of generic in a sense. He's just an angry Japanese monk who's just killing people who enter his area simply because a god is telling him to. You know, honestly, he just gets And the reason why he's even on this list is because when he dies, he has one of the funniest reasons for going psychopathic in the first place. Before he's, well, suicide out of pure anger and insanity. Which is kind of the best part about this entire fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fight itself is unique, it's great, it's fun. But the ending is just, it's a mix between holy shit and that was fucking awesome kind of feeling. And this is a great first boss for the Dead Rising 3 story.
Why have you forsaken me? I get fired. My wife leaves for a guy who sells the refrigerators. My kids grow out to be disrespectful brats. Now this? A goddamn zombie outbreak? Seriously? Screw you! You piece of crap! Wait! Oh God! Oh!
Look what I found you, pretty girl. Fresh meat.
Coming in at number 9, we have Ted and Snowflake from Dead Rising 2. The reason why Ted is on this list is because of his kind of sad backstory to this. He's not necessarily crazy in a sense, but he has crazy tendencies, if that makes sense. The story behind Ted is that he and Snowflake were entertainers of some sort. They would put on a show every so often. Because, you know, tigers are good at entertainment apparently. However, Ted felt a close bond to Snowflake, considering her as a close friend. In the past, when he was an entertainer, he was often, well, I guess bullied or put down very often. And it got to a point where he's kind of resentful towards people. Especially because of the zombie outbreak occurring and the need to feed Snowflake fresh meat, he would often take survivors to feed to Snowflake. And a good part about this psychopath is that this almost never happens. Like, Chuck almost talks this out. But because he mentioned something that was traumatic to Ted, such as being called slow, aka dumb or whatnot, because of his childlike personality, he goes into a frenzy of absolute panic and absolute anger as well, convincing Snowflake to attack Chuck, and thus the battle begins. Now, the reason why Ted is not higher on this list is he's insanely easy. He's not a challenge. He's not that much of a challenge anyway. The real challenge is in Snowflake, and we'll come on to Snowflake in a little bit and why Ted is not number 10. Also, two things why Ted is at number 9 instead of number 10. One thing is his death scene. You kind of feel sorry for him in a sense. Like, his entire career and his entire lifespan, I guess, well, it's theorised that his entire lifespan, it's just been him getting bullied. And to finally kill him off, and to hear him, well, grovel in pain and call out to Snowflake, even willing to sacrifice himself so Snowflake is fed, is kind of depressing. It makes you feel bad in a sense.
Dad, no feels so good. Snowflake! Kitty! Come, Kitty! You still hungry, girl? Take me, Snowflake! Ted feed you. Ted take care of you. Fresh meat. Just for you, Kitty. 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 Time for supper.
And also, you can tame Snowflake, you know, that's fucking awesome.
Come in. Finally. I am Antoine. They call me the king of cuisine. I've been expecting you.
At number 8, we have Antoine. One of the very first bosses I ever faced in Dead Rising. Kind of the ones that's the most memorable to me in a sense. That's not the only reason he's a good psychopath. He has many memorable quotes, such as... And also... Oh, and don't forget this one, who, you know, it's a popular one.
How dare you! I'm Antoine! I am the king of cuisine! No matter, this can still be a once-in-a-lifetime meal, so sit, relax. Antoine will make you dinner!
Anyway, but popular quotes aside, he's actually a very, very decent psychopath, in a sense. Like, he's batshit insane and he does it well. His voice actor is very talented at making him a fucking insane chef. The story behind Antoine is that he was expecting a magazine or a company of some kind to come and review his cooking, because he believed that he was, as he says, the king of cuisine. And because the zombie outbreak occurred, they never came, which I guess spiraled him into a descent of madness. It's kind of unknown why he goes psycho in the first place, aside from the fact that he knows now that his fame is never coming. He knows that his chance at fame is now gone. So he kidnaps a woman, and I guess he was planning to use her in a dish of some kind, because he was that down into his descent of insanity. And as for the fight itself, it's fucking painful if you're not a high level. Like, what he'll do is he will hit you with his pan, and it will knock you back into a spiral, and then he'll run off to a healing point and consume food, which basically, not only is he healing himself, that's also his time where he's exposed. But if you try and hit him too many times, he'll use his pan to spiral out again, and then he'll go to another healing point. But it's still fucking obnoxious if you're a low level facing this guy. Co-op was even a struggle when I faced him. And not only that, the reason why he's not higher up or lower on this list is because his death scene is disappointing. He just slips and dies. Like, it's not exactly a cool way to go out, but I was kind of expecting more out of him, especially because of the introduction he was given.
What are you doing in here? You alright? Do you need some help? Oh shit. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Just walked in the door and already presenting.
No reason to get too excited?
Why don't you go over there and lick that lollipop for me?
Number 7 had to go to Dylan. I'm sorry, there's no debate about it. Dylan is fucking hilariously amazing. It's kind of good how they betrayed him as a psychopathic nymphomaniac in a sense. The main reason why he isn't like, what, the top 5 is that's all he is, just a crazy sex maniac. There's no real story behind it, there's no real plot, he's just a crazy nymphomaniac with a fucking beautiful weapon. I will give you that, his weapon is amazing. You can't argue with me. The Lust Cannon is fucking ingenious for a psychopath weapon. Like, you cannot tell me it isn't. It is obvious that he represents lust. Like, there's no argument about that. The BDSM gear and everything just explains the entirety of what he represents. As for the fight itself, it's relatively good, I guess. It was fun doing it. His moves are a bit bullshit, but there are special things you can do to get him distracted in suggestive ways. For example, you can pole dance. Yeah, you heard me. You can pole dance and he'll be, well, susceptible to an attack. But what he does is he fires not only flames from his Lust Cannon, but he also fires a fire extinguisher or ice, I guess. Because, well, they freeze, they do the same thing. But there are other ways you can counter his attacks, which are also suggestive. And that'll be through command prompts on the screen. However, one of the best parts about his death, and which is why he landed at number 7, is because... just take a look for yourself.
You gave me blue balls, you tease.
Hey,
There's food in here, man.
why so quiet? Zombies?
Worse.
Hey! Who the hell is that? Get away from my food!
There's plenty in here for everyone.
I see the way you look at me. But you know what? I'm tired of low carbs. I'm tired of celery. Ugh. I'm hungry.
It's not like you can eat all of it.
Hey! Just watch me.
Hey, stop it! I'm starving!
Get away from my food!
Stop!
You skinny dudes! Just think you can take whatever the hell you want, don't you? World on a platter.
Jesus, lady, he was just hungry.
So am I, asshole!
I think you've had plenty already.
Are you calling me
Oh shit.
Now, sorry for the really long intro, but I just had to show you how fucking well her voice actress did for this character. Like, my god. She betrayed Darlene in a way that really made her stand out as a character, as a psychopath as well. But that's not the only good point about Darlene here. Darlene is unique. Like, there's not really any boss like her. There's no 10 out of 10 like AAA fucking character in a mobility scooter. Happy Wheels isn't AAA, before you say anything. However, what holds her back is how easy her psychopath battle is, especially if you're a high level. Hell, level 20 is enough to do the trick, and that's really it. She's not a difficult boss in the slightest, but she can be if she traps you or she gets you in a certain position, and some of her attacks are actually quite annoying as well, plus you can slip on her puke. However, she also follows the same traits as Antoine, eating to recover health and whatnot. Also, the last point I'll make as to why she's on number 6 is because of her death scene, as how it's both humorous and, well, disturbing, which is a good mix for a death. Also, her voice actress is amazing. I'm sorry, I just can't stop gushing about that.
I feel really bad. Oh my god. Like super bad gas. You gave me indigestion. You little pig. Time to
Everyone used to laugh at me. I was a walking punchline. But not anymore. When the zombies came, everyone died. That's why I decided to give all the happy people a lift on this fun ride. I won't let you stop the ride, Gramps. If the ride stops, then the zombies come back. And that won't be any fun at all.
You already know Adam had to be here somewhere. He's one of the most popular psychopath bosses in all of the Dead Rising series, believe me. When you ask someone to think of a psychopath off the bat, they're more than likely going to think of Adam, just because of how memorable his character was to them. Now obviously Adam is a psychotic nutcase of a fucking clown, who's gone absolutely psychotic and absolutely insane. I'm using a lot of GTA 5 YouTuber terms here. But in all seriousness, he's absolute batshit insane, juggling fucking chainsaws while laughing maniacally, talking about how everyone died because of zombies and how he used to be the funniest person in the entire entertainment industry there. But now because no one laughs at him, he wanted to give all the people, or dead children as it's implied, a lift on the fun ride, which is the roller coaster. And this thereby keeps the zombies away for whatever reason. However, Frank needs to stop the ride because there's a survivor trapped onto that roller coaster, and this thereby causes Frank to fight Adam. As for Adam's fight, it's popular that he's one of the hardest bosses in all of Dead Rising. That's just a popular fact. He's extremely difficult, he's very agile, his attacks are very lethal if they land, especially if you're a low level. Also, he has various ranged attacks, he's very powerful close range, he can jump high. He's basically just a pain in the ass, like, let's just get that across. And what doubles Adam up even better as a psychopath? That even when he's dying to his own chainsaws being torn apart from the outside to the inside, he's still laughing like the psychotic clown he is. And that's why he's at number 5, the most classic psychopath in all of the Dead Rising series. That's my opinion, just let's get that clear.
Hey! You get the hell away from my bike!
Whoa, chill, okay? Sorry. Didn't know it was yours. It's a nice bike, though.
Hey, sorry, buddy. I thought you were one of those crazies. I just can't trust people anymore. I've been dealing with nut bars all day long.
Now some of you might be really confused as to why Chuck is at number 4 on this list. Now let me explain. The reason he is at number 4 on this list is because of the amount of theory potential he is seeping with. For example, I even have my own theory as to why this Chuck exists in Off the Record. Compared to Dead Rising 2, the canon one, he doesn't turn to alcohol like this one does, as proven by one of the endings in the canon Dead Rising 2 where Chuck just lets the zombies kill him because Katie died and he did get his Zombrex to her. Whereas in this version of Dead Rising 2, Chuck turned to alcohol, and the alcohol tricked him into thinking that Katie was still alive, when in reality she was dead in the locker room, or the green room, whatever it was called. The alcohol is fueling his blindness to the fact that Katie's dead, and making him believe that a doll that bears similarities to Katie is actually Katie herself. And because of this, and Frank wanted to take them both to the safe house but accidentally grabbing their leg, Chuck gets very pissed off about this, and then the fight continues. Or the continues? Starts. Yeah. However, this boss replaces Leon from Terror's Reality, or the canon Dead Rising 2. And thus he'll play very similarly, so the boss fight ain't nothing special. It's not that special. It's just a guy driving around. He's very fucking painful and very difficult to deal with. It's kind of sad and kind of weird to see Chuck give up like this. It makes you think, like, it's really, really, not only, well, I guess heartbreaking, but it's really interesting, actually, to see how Chuck changed like this. As I mentioned earlier, my theory was that he turned to alcohol in this universe, and thus, that's why he's like this, blinded by the fact that Katie's dead. And believing the alcohol is the only way he'll ever see his daughter alive on his back. Because that's what the alcohol's doing, it's tricking him. As for the nut bars he mentions, those could potentially just be normal civilians. Those could just be people trying to stop him, trying to tell him that it's just a doll and it's not real. And because of this, he's most likely killed them. He's most likely murdered them. And that's not the only reason as well. The alcohol has made him a little bit, well, not a little bit, quite psychotic actually now. Especially because now he sees zombies as fun to kill, like really easy, and it's just entertainment to him. So not only is he psychopathic, but he's also blinded by alcohol, which adds on to his character of a psychopath even more than he already displays. And as for his supposed death scene, it's not even confirmed if he dies or not. His corpse isn't there. So my theory is that Frank let Chuck live. Either that or he just returned to his old save.
Katie? Are you all right? Katie, you're okay. You're safe now. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I can't imagine what I would do if anything ever happened to you.
Man, that guy was a few screws short of a workbench. Okay, this place. is nuts.
You came to vandalize my store, huh? Not on my watch!
Someone's been hurt. I need medicine.
Hurt? That's just what this bitch said when she came to vandalize my store! I don't take kindly to vandalism. I won't allow it! Listen to me, and listen good, partner. I don't allow vandalism in my store!
Number 3 had to go to Stephen Chapman. You just know it. Yeah, he had to have number 3. Not only is his boss fight absolutely fucking nuts, insanely difficult, for a good reason of course, especially at a high level, this guy is very difficult. Not only does he have very, very fast and long range moves such as the shotgun, and also the charge attacks from his shopping cart, he's a real pain in the ass, in a fun way as well. But the reason why this isn't like, oh my god, this is absolutely fucking annoyingly hard, is because there's healing items everywhere. There's an infinite supply of healing items that you can use, so you can just keep coming right back at him. It's a really good and fair fight. Well, not exactly fair, considering the shotgun and all, but either way, this is a good fight. Let's just get that across. And as for the psychopath himself, holy fuck does that guy have lungs. Like, Christ, Dragon Ball wants their fucking voice actors back. Jesus. Not only does he shout, not once, not twice, but 3 times, especially the fucking third one. It's almost like he went Super Saiyan on this bitch. Like, my god. I absolutely love this psychopath. This psychopath, for me, is one of my favourites of all time. Just because of how, yes, this is fucking insane. I love it. Like, his voice actor does such an amazing job of bringing out the most psychotic side of people. Especially this guy. This guy's just really passionate about his store. And I guess when the zombie outbreak hit, his loyalty just blinded him of any morality and any sympathy. And his death scene? Well, let's just take a look.
My store. My store. Who will run my store when I'm gone? My store. My food. My sales. My customers. Have a nice day. Clean up! Register 6! Ugh.
Ice cream! Come on out, everyone! Come on! Get your ice cream! Get your ice cream!
Man, I frickin' hate clowns.
Come on out, everyone! Hey down there, little fella.
I gotta go.
Now, what flavor would you like, young man? Because I've got more flavors back at the car.
I don't think you're gonna sell a lot of ice cream right now. I'm not getting in your car.
Wait. Frank West. Frank West?
No, I've heard of you.
Oh, this never goes well.
Maybe you've heard of my late brother. Used to work at the Willamette Mall. See, there were witnesses who said he was fighting someone with a camera.
If Adam was your brother, I'd hate to meet your sister.
How about a little ice cream, Frank?
Okay, hear me out before you start butchering me in the comments about my number 2 choice. Evan is a very unique boss. He's really interesting. He's got his own unique attacks, his own personality. Well, not his own personality, but his personality as a psychotic clown is done well. His voice actor is very good at portraying him. He has a very unique kind of fight involving his use of standing on sticks. Because he's short, you know. And bear that in mind, remember my point about him being short, because that'll come into play later. Now obviously his fight's very easy if you've got ranged weapons, which is kind of what you need to rely on. However, his attacks can get you stuck in the floor, which he'll use to kick you around a bit. It can cause problems, especially because you can walk through him, because he's, you know, he's that tall. Also, his freezing effects tend to do a lot of status effects, like such as slowing and whatnot. However, get to a good spot and you should be fine. However, the main part is when you have to spin the circles with the stick, obviously, as to get away from the ice. However, aside from that, you should be all right. That should be all right. However, get him down to enough health, and then you'll trigger a special little cutscene. How about we take a look at that now?
Man, that guy had a short fuse.
Oh, Frank West, you're going to try all of my flavors! No!
Shocked? Because I fucking certainly was when I first played this. I did not expect him to have a second stage. That was one of the most shocking things I've ever experienced in a Psychopath, and it was really, really unique. It gave him a lot more unique aspects to him. Now that no other Psychopath has a second stage in this game. Or any of the Dead Rising for that matter. Dead Rising 4 doesn't count, shut up. What Evan does is basically sacrifices his long range abilities and uses quick and timed grapple attacks and punches, and he also utilizes some ranged moves to an extent. But aside from that, he's basically, the only problem is that he'll be hard to hit because of how fast he is, and plus his grapple move will tear you down quite a bit of some health. The only reason that you'll have trouble with this boss is that, well, basically how fast he is. That's the only main thing you'll have trouble with. Also the zombies around you. For the Psychopath himself, he's great. He's a great brother for Adam. He deserves to be Adam's brother, because he's done so well. His voice actor does a great job of portraying him, and you can kind of understand why Evan's attacking Frank in the first place. I mean, he did kill his brother. That anyone would be pissed off if you met the killer of your brother. And his death, well, let's just watch it.
Scream for ice cream.
That guy kind of cracked me up.
Yeah, Frank just gave no fucks. He just killed him straight up. He didn't give a shit.
aiming right, soldier!
You can't tell me, can you, fella? Oh yeah, I know why. It's because you're Viet Cong. I'm right, aren't I? You are nothing but a filthy communist! You, son, are gonna tell me where the gorilla's hideout is. By the time I'm done beating information out of you, you are gonna be begging for death to come take you away.
Yes, that is correct. Cliff is number 1. What? What are you staring at? What? Anyway, Cliff is number 1 because his fight is relatively simple, but it's still amazing nonetheless. The main thing that I like about this boss fight is how he constantly stalks you, and you have to do everything you can to fight back against him, and he can really hurt once he gets close to you. And apparently he can also hide as well, so that's something to take in consideration. However, that's not the reason why this guy is number 1 on my list. The death scene is why he's number 1 on this list. And for a very important reason. Let me just show you, because this actually brought a tear to my eye when I first experienced this. It was actually really emotional when I first saw it. So yeah, this is number 1. And this is why he's number 1.
You. Over there. Here. Take this. My granddaughter. She was done in by those damn zombies. When I heard her scream, I just lost it. Everything went white suddenly. The war, it wasn't over. Not for me. It never ended.
And there you have it, my personal top 10 best psychopaths in the Dead Rising series. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below, and sorry if it was a bit long. Here's hoping Mythray can actually render this. But yeah, what do you think? Do you agree with my decisions? Do you have any theories you want to share? Please put down in the comments below and I will actually respond to them, because, you know, people say they won't respond. No, people will say they respond, but they don't. Whereas I promise you I will respond to almost every comment I can. And I will also theorise with you, and if you want to theorise with me more, make sure you head on over to my Discord server, which I'll leave in the description below. Thanks for watching this video, and let me know what you thought of this, because I want to do more of these kind of videos. Take care, and goodbye.